Hi guys, welcome back to Chess the Matthew and welcome to my video series which is the destroying the French defense. So our hero in a white perspective is Alireza Firouzja. So we shall see the games of Alireza Firouzja on how he destroyed the French defense. So on this game, we shall see the game between Alireza Firouzja and Y.Wang on the Aeroflot 2016. So the French defense start with the move e4, e6, d4, d5. And Alireza Firouzja goes for knight c3, and after d takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop d7, and knight f3, and bishop c6. So on this position, we shall reach the French defense of Rubenstein variation and Knox variation. So here, Y.Wang chooses to play after bishop d3. He plays knight to d7, but Alireza still strengthening the center with c3 and waiting for black to place knight to g6 so that Alireza Firouzja can play knight takes f6. So on this position, we shall see that there are three ways to capture the knight. It starts with knight takes f6, g takes f6, and queen takes f6. But if Y.Wang chooses to play g takes f6, so we shall see on this position that it doesn't help the position of black. It only cripple the pawns and double his f pawn. So it takes positional matters on the pawn structure after g takes f6. And another choice on capturing the f6 is the move queen takes f6. But after queen takes f6, it loses the black on the spot because it allows now the white to play bishop g5, in which on this position the queen on f6 is in trouble because the queen has no way to go and it only impress on him on f6. So the most logical move on this position is the only knight takes f6. So after knight takes f6, bishop f4, a developing move, and Y.Wang start to develop his kingside and also his bishop to render a castle in the next move. But here Alireza Firouzja chooses to dominate in the center and plays knight e5, and Y.Wang doesn't want this knight e5 and the capture. And after bishop takes e5, bishop takes e5, knight d7, and Alireza Firouzja maintain his double bishop. So on this bishop position, Alireza Firouzja gain a double bishop, in which in the end game he has advantage because he has double bishop. So here black captured the g2 pawn because the g2 pawn is undefended, but here Alireza Firouzja can still regain after g1, bishop c6, and regain the deficit pawn on g7. And Y.Wang moves queen to f6, hoping to win some piece by giving a fork on the bishop and the rook. But on the spot, Alireza Firouzja defended with queen g7, defending both bishop and rook. And here Y.Wang chooses to castle, and he didn't want to save his pawn on g7, I mean h7, because let's say for example, after Wang chooses to defend his pawn and move it to h6, but still there is an attack on the c7 pawn, and still the white can win a pawn. So after here on this position, Alireza Firouzja successfully pressure both undefended pawns on h7 and c7. So the only way to the black to put his king on the center and manage to castle, but still the white can capture the h7 and win a pawn. So we shall see that the white has 1 2 3 4 5 6 pawns, while the black has only 5 on this position. So after this, the black here tries to entice Alireza Firouzja to capture his bishop on f3, but it only after, let's say, the black captured this bishop, it only put his rook, the white rook, on g7 in danger. Because let's say for example, if white capture the f3, then it loses the defense on g7, and the black here can win the piece on g7. So here, because Alireza Firouzja is pawn up, so he chooses to trade queens, and after the trade, still the white is a pawn up and have a material advantage. So attacking the bishop, retreat, trying to attack the bishop again, but still there's escape, and after capture, give a check, but king f2 put the white king on safety, and bishop e4, and here Alireza Firouzja put a pressure again on the c7 with his rook and bishop. So the f7 was the c7, this position is really in the bad situation, so he forced to play c6, but still Alireza Firouzja tries to break this chain after the idea move of b5 and d5, breaking this pawn chain of white, the black, in which it is the defense to the black king. So here the black chooses to exchange some bishops, and after here rook to e4, but still there is d4, the idea of playing b4 and with rook behind the king on the c file. So here after let's say knight d5, knight a5, covering the diagonal of the bishop, but still capture, and knight c6 on this position is a bad move because there is a b5. So here the black chooses to capture the b pawn so that he can place knight c6 in the next move, but still it allows c7 check, c6 b7 check, and force his king to king b7, and after rook f7, Yiye resign because the king, the rook, threatens to capture the the f7 and f6 pawn, which is the only defender of the knight, and if this f6 will be moved, then this knight will be lost. Even though, let's say here, the black will capture this pawn. Let's say, for example, capture, capture, but still this knight is on the trouble. Even though he tries to defend it with, let's say here, but still there is rook e6 with two attackers, and let's say rook to d5. Still there is a rook to e1, in which there is three attackers on the knight with only one defender, and on the very soon this knight will be lost on the game, and also gaining a white a huge material advantage on this position. So I hope guys enjoy this video, and thank you, and please don't forget to subscribe.